Hey everybody, so I thought it'd be cool to do a proper commentary over my suit showcase and kind of really talk about the details of each suit and sort of the making of. Starting with the astonishing suit that I did. I chose to do this version of Spider-Man specifically because of his body type. It was most similar to mine, and I needed a suit for charity, and I wanted a suit that was a little unique but familiar, so maybe people who are really deep into comic books could look at it and be like, oh, okay, I know which version of the suit that is. But to kids, it's just gonna be, Spider-Man. I went a little too big on the eyes, so I do really want to remake this one because I have more accurate lenses now. But this was made by the RPC Studio and Gunhead Design. I was actually the first person to own this pattern because it didn't exist before I commissioned it. And then, as far as I'm aware, the second person to ever have it is actually T-Stunning Spidey, crazy enough. But yeah, I really love it, and now you could own this pattern or this suit yourself. But that's how it started. It started with that one. I still love it. Like I said, I do hope to get it remade. Then we go with the suit that I really, really wanted, and is still probably one of my favorite Spider-Man costumes of all time, if you want to count it as a Spider-Man costume, and that's the What If Fantastic Four suit. Originally, I actually would have went with this suit first, but because I was doing charity events, I went with this one. Again, this is made by Gunhead and the RPC Studio. This pattern, however, is not available because it is very specific. The blues, the way that the boots and the gloves are very different than the one that the RPC Studio currently actually offers. So right now, I actually am the only person to own this version of the suit. And I love it. It's still one of my favorites. I didn't get to wear it too much. It took them about 4 tries to get the measurements even remotely close to where I could wear it. It's got that embossed emblem, which is really cool, and for a while this was my most expensive suit because of that embossed emblem. Next up we have the Spider-Punk, which was actually designed by my buddy Danger Industries, and it's based primarily off his comic appearance, but if you know anything about Spider-Punk, his design is super inconsistent from panel to panel, basically. So I used the Spider-Man Unlimited mobile game to sort of get a general sense of how this pattern should look and how the suit should look. That's actually kind of how I decided what colored buttons to use on it. There's like a Deadpool one, and there's a power-up pill from a local business. There's the Union Jack because I want to do Captain Britain, so it's kind of a nod to that, and a little spider since he doesn't have a spider logo. This back patch was designed by a friend of mine at the time, and then I had it custom made to the specific sort of sizing that I wanted for this suit. The lenses, however, and the spikes are actually made by the RPC Studio, who originally I did commission this suit from. And then here we have the Into the Spiderverse Miles Morales suit. This one, again, was designed by Danger Industries for me. And we had 2 versions of this pattern because the first time we had it printed, none of the details showed up. So it was just basically black with red. So we actually had to up the contrast. As a result, the suit is a little more gray or charcoal than black, so I would like to get it remade. Originally, I had some different lenses with it, but these are my Shiba Art lenses, which I absolutely love and I think are absolutely the perfect quintessential sort of Into the Spider-Verse Miles Morales lenses. So I really do want to have this suit remade. There's just some minor things, like the shoes aren't great. I love how they look, but how they fit is really bad. So there's room for improvement. So I definitely want to remake this one eventually. But it photographs really well. Really. Here we have my Captain America Civil War Spider-Man suit specifically. This was designed by Crazy Frankie and was actually a free pattern. With this suit, I was really just trying to build something on a budget because I was solely going to use it for charity events and birthday parties. So the web shooters are attached partly by magnets, and they are just the Disney Store web shooters that I slightly modified to just look a little, more realistic. Did like a silver wash over them. Print Costumes did the suit. It has forearm zippers just to kind of help out, and it made it easier to attach the magnets on there because the magnets sit under the suit. I attached my soles myself. It was my first time doing it, so it's kind of a rough job. The lenses were from an Etsy maker. They're really not good. If you look at the suit in certain angles, they look fine, but it just wasn't good. This is my House of M suit. Once again, the pattern was designed by Danger Industries. It was created or sewn and printed by Print Costumes. The lenses are from the Armory, which is now closed. But I absolutely love this suit. The only tweaks I would make is the shoes aren't great on these Sentai Zone suits. They're very hard, or I guess Print Costume suits, they're very hard to get into. And the square patterns on the back of the hands ended up being a little too big. So ideally, I do want to remake this suit just for something that's a little easier to get into maybe. But it is a very comfortable suit once I'm in it. And it does look great. Danger Industries worked so hard to get this pattern to my exact sort of specifications. I'm kind of a stickler for details, but I do love the suit. It's one of my favorites. I know some people don't really like it, but this is again sort of like a one of the kind pattern. I suppose if you wanted it, you could ask him for it, and I'm sure he would sell it to you. But as of now, I'm the only one with that pattern. Now this suit is from Sim Cosplay, which I made minor modifications to as far as like the lenses go to make them white. And I ended up with two different masks, so I haven't shot this version of this suit, but it's specifically based off the Shattered Dimensions game. There's some key giveaways, like the style of the mask and sort of the goggles and certain things. And like the pants. The pants aren't actually striped in the comics. They're more of like a solid color. Those boots are the last piece of clothing that my grandmother ever bought me, which are apartment 9s, and they are beat to shit, and they're probably like 2 decades old now. But I just never could get rid of them, and I thought they worked really well for this suit. But yeah, I love this suit, but I am gonna upgrade it and make it more comic accurate real soon here. But it's really close. Again, so this is my Far From Home suit. This was sort of the same design process or thought process as my Civil War suit. I just needed something for charity. Those lenses were off of a cheap Amazon suit that was too big for my buddy, so I just took them off and glued the frames and everything back together and just glued them to the suit. I attached my soles. I did a really good job on these soles, admittedly, but I didn't do it quite perfect. As you can see, the boots ended up being really small. I also took apart some like urethane web shooters and cut the triggers off and glued them to the palms, because if you look at the actual suit, that's how it is. And I got a couple really cheap 3D printed web shooters off Etsy. This one does not feature a back of the hood zipper though. You just pull it over as one piece, which is great for charity events when you're with kids, because they have a tendency to try to go for those zippers and zip off your mask. So in hindsight, it works, and I just used an Armory face shell for that. This suit is probably my best looking suit, and probably the best job I did cobbling a suit together. The frames are from a maker on Etsy, and I just used some remaining white mesh I had from my Noir suit and put it on there. The soles are just, some red soles that I had that I plasti dipped like 5 layers of. This suit features both removable feet and gloves, which is kind of cool, and a mask. So I ended up really loving this. Again, this was sort of the same design process as if I was trying to make a suit on cheap that would work sort of for charity. And I ended up using this more for TikTok than anything else, admittedly. But I do really, really love it still. I'm proud of the work I did end up doing on it. Oh, and I'm just use my Spider-Punk face shell for that. This suit, I've wanted to do for a long time, the Clone Hunter suit, sort of like the quick change suit from the PS1 Spider-Man game. And I've always really been a big fan. That's my little dog there, Boo. Again, this is a really easy suit to put together. It is just pieces of my Back in Black suit, which is true to the comic. That's how Peter puts this together. And then some Scarlet Spider lenses. I plan to do this suit for basically ever. I thrifted that jacket from Goodwill for a couple bucks. Yeah, it's a super simple suit. It's really easy. Like I said, all those pieces are just pieces of my Back in Black suit reused for this suit. Except for, of course, the lenses by I Want Chaos. which probably is my most comfortable face shell ever, and so sturdy. Here we have my Scarlet Spider Suit, which I put together on a cheap, and that's really the only reason I did it. The downside to that is also this suit was constantly falling apart as far as like the web shooters go. But I'm really proud of the work I did on it because so much of it wasn't myself. It was just a basic red Zentai Zone suit. I attached the soles. This was easily, aside from that I messed up the soles at first, easily the best job I've done on soles. The hoodie was from I Want Chaos as well. And yeah, I really just did it because I was already going to have the shell from doing the Clone Hunter suit. And so I was like, well, I could just buy the hoodie and I can just try and make everything else. And overall, I'm really proud of what I did, but it is a suit that was falling apart. Here we have the Ben Reilly suit. The pattern was designed by Danger Industries once again. And the face shell, of course, is my armory one, which was intentional. I did get it intentionally for Ben Reilly, but I was like, oh, House of M has the same style of eyes. This was actually printed and sewed by Heroes Time. I'm not a big fan of Heroes Time, but you do get mixed results. The fabric feels really nice. I just don't know if I love it because of how difficult it can be to pull over your body. There's some great features of this one, like the zippers in the legs because of the shoes. I wasn't sure how their shoes would be, but actually their shoes are definitely better than print costumes. This one has a detachable mask. That's really just because the original mask wasn't the right fit. I made the web shooters myself, and they're hit or miss. They work. They're not perfect. It took a while to get this pattern perfect, but this, again, is one of those patterns that really is just specific to me. Nobody has this specific, no muscle shading, no nothing kind of pattern. What they also did with this suit is they actually made the zipper zip into a V shape on the back. This suit is one of my favorite suits. It's the back in black, once again designed by my friend Danger Industries. To my very, very crucial specifications, I wanted it to be specifically the back in black suit because that was my sort of like first real exposure to the black suit other than the animated series. This version of the suit has two versions, one with the mask with the lenses attached, where you can see there's a different shade because the mask is just a black Zentai, and then sort of a variant, as you can see here, with the lenses and a face shell, which admittedly looks better, but I did have to jerry rig these lenses to go with my Spider-Punk suit, so they don't really sit flush like they should. So I ended up just scrapping the idea. I could always attach the lenses to a spare mask and do it that way. I'm just not sure. I think I am just gonna order a pair of magnetic versions with a face shell specific for it from the RPC. This suit is my black suit concept, originally designed by Randy Schuler. The pattern is by Danger Industries again. This is easily one of my favorites. The shell and lenses are by Oracle Made this time, and I absolutely adore everything about this suit. There wasn't a lot to go off of, so I actually used the original appearance of the black suit to sort of fill in sort of specific detail shapes, like the back spider specifically. But yeah, I really love it. As you can see, the back spider's different on this suit. This is another suit that's specifically me. Nobody owns this specific version of the pattern, again, because I'm very specific about how I want my patterns designed and how I want them to look. And I think this might be probably my current favorite in the collection. And here we have my PS4 suit. The pattern was designed by Cyan Man, and it was made by Print Costumes. I fudged up on this suit, though, by having it made with just the standard fabric, which does give it this cool kind of sheen, but unfortunately makes it super tear. It tears very easy, and it just wasn't designed to last. My friend Spider Zay did all the puff painting on the web work, and the web shooters were just from a maker on Etsy. Those lenses there are actually from Comic Suit Factory from Spider Zay. When he was doing the web work, he was like, hey, do you want me to attach these lenses that I have? And I was like, yeah. He's like, because I'm not going to use them. The soles are super cool. I thought they matched the style very well, but they are super uncomfortable. I sized them a little too small. And I can't see worth a crap out of this suit. It looks pretty good, but after my last photo shoot, it started to rip, and I just had to retire it. I do want to get it remade by the RPC Studio, but for now, that's that. Here we have my Iron Spider suit, designed by Gunhead and printed by Print Costumes. And then the lenses there are Oracle made lenses, who I always knew I was going to get lenses from, and it all just ties in and all looks really good. I did the soles myself with a metallic gold and a glittery red over some Plasti Dip red soles, which I was really happy with. This is easily, I think, one of my best looking suits. I think the only downside with this pattern is that circle is a little low, and it's not really a circle, it's an oval due to the sewing process. But since you don't really see it, I mean, is it a big deal? You could always make a 3D one if you wanted. But yeah, that's gonna end it for this suit showcase, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you got a little more insight into this, and I'll see you in the next one.